Hello, everyone. I am Kelly Stairs. I'm the Assistant Director in the Career Development and Internship Center. And we are going to be talking about LinkedIn today as part of our Invest in You series. So it's really about first figuring out your professional branding and why that's important. 70% of employers will vet candidates and research candidates on their social media and kind of base their hiring decisions a lot of the times off of the things that their candidates are posting on social media. So it's very, very important to have a strong professional social presence. And that's what LinkedIn is great for. So I have a few slides and then I'll walk you through kind of my LinkedIn profile and some tips and tricks on how to perfect yours, and then some things to kind of do in LinkedIn that you might not be aware of. So online presence and reputation. So again, how you portray yourself online can impact your employment opportunities and your future career. So you really want to be proactive. So increase your professional online presence as much as you can to build your visibility. Let's say you want to be a journalist or you want to be a graphic designer. You want to make sure that you have your past experiences and anything you've written, anything you've created on a website of some sort or in a blog. Maybe you've created a blog, or maybe you have a Behance account, something like that, to kind of showcase your experiences and showcase what you bring to the table. You also can build your professional presence by interacting with individuals. So following some professionals in your field of interest, whether that be marketing, whether that be biotechnology, whether that be health sciences. Follow some professional experts in the field, if you will, and start sharing some things that they post or articles that you find interesting related to your field of interest. That way, that'll get employers to say, oh, this person really is interested in this industry and learning more about this industry. Be alert, search yourself online, do a Google search, see what comes up, because that's what the employers are going to do. That's how that 70% of employers start their search. The first thing that should pop up is your LinkedIn. So that's why it's very important to have a LinkedIn. But the other things that could pop up, maybe, you had an Instagram account that maybe wasn't as professional as it could be, or you have some pictures out there that aren't very professional. Your friends might have tagged you in things that aren't very professional. So it's not just what you post about, it's about what everyone posts about you. So make sure that if you do find that your friends are posting things that maybe you don't want an employer to see, and I typically tell students, if you don't want your grandparents to see it, take it down or have your friends untag you so that it's less easy to find. And then just be professional. How you interact online could indicate to an employer how you'll act in person. So the things that you talk about, the things that you're liking, even the things that you're resharing or retweeting could have an effect on your employment opportunities. So you want to try to stay clear of anything that may be controversial, especially when you're in the job search, because you want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. If they don't believe the things that you believe, or vice versa, it won't be a good fit for you. The other thing is, if you are already in a role, you're representing that employer, you're representing that company that you work for. So you just want to make sure that you're professional at all times on social media. So LinkedIn is the best way to try to be, a little bit more professional, get your foot in the door in some of those larger companies or some of those industries that you might be interested in. It's the world's largest professional online networking tool. It allows you to manage your professional identity. It helps you build and engage with your professional network, whether that be companies that you might be interested in, groups on LinkedIn that you might be interested in, alumni that maybe have a job that you're interested in. You can kind of connect with them and see how they got to where they are, and try to pick their ear a little bit about what it is that what they did in undergrad to get to the next step. It also allows you access to knowledge, insights, opportunities. People post that they are hiring all the time on LinkedIn. So the more people that you connect with, the more opportunities you have to see some of those back end hiring things, as opposed to just going straight to the job board. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my profile and walk you through that. Okay, so now we're looking at my LinkedIn. So as I log into LinkedIn, this is what I see. Cameron Duda, class of 2022, Assumption University, Grennan School of Business posted this. So this is my first thing that I see because I'm following the Grennan School of Business. Any person that you're following, any company that you're following will be posted here. So that's really great, because if a person is hiring for their company, they'll have their hiring down here. A lot of my stuff is Assumption University based, but you'll see kind of all of that information. It might even open the door to some opportunities that you didn't even know existed. This is where you can share content. So you can share an article that maybe you wrote, or you can share a video or a photo that you've created. You can share any of that stuff, new news that you have. So when you do get that internship or that job, this is where you post it to. Let me just show you. Okay, so Sarah, I'm a first contact with. So just so that you understand what the first, second, and third are, first contact is somebody that I know Sarah. We've connected, we work together. This is my first contact. Somebody that would show a second contact as a second here, it would be Sarah's contacts. So not necessarily my contacts, but the people that Sarah have connected with will show up to me as second. There is one step further, which is your third contact. The third out is not Sarah's contact, but the contact of Sarah's contact. So 3 degrees out. So you will see 3 degrees out. And I don't know if I'll be able to find that quickly. Most of my things are all first degree, but first degree. I don't have any that are second degrees or third degrees, which is kind of bizarre. But if you look at yours, okay, so this person, Zoe, is not my first degree, but it's Meg Evangelista's first degree. She's a contact of one of my first degrees. So that's what it'll look like. And then it goes out 3 degrees. Okay, that's just so that you know what that means. Any of the groups that you follow, any of the groups that you're a part of will be right here. Any of the events that maybe you're going to, any of the hashtags that you follow, they'll all be right on your left side. Any of your items, that would be any of your saved jobs. And I think I might have some, yes. So saved jobs, any maybe job alerts that you've created, those will all be in your items, and that's all in this left column right over here before you even go into your profile. If you want to view your profile, you can either click on your face up here, view profile, or you can click on your face over here. Either way will get you to your profile. Your profile will show anything that you want the employer to see. So you can kind of edit all of this based off of what you feel your preferences are for privacy. So any of this stuff, interest, organization, skills, license, education, you can show as much or as little as you want, but really it's your electronic resume. The most important parts of your profile, this top section, which includes your picture, your name, this is called a headline, and then also this about section. And the reason those sections are the most important sections is because those are the sections that any employer will see without scrolling down. They don't see any of this. They don't see any analytics, and they don't see the suggested for you section. So really, the about section will be right here. So you want this part of your profile to be as strong as it possibly can, because an employer is not going to take even maybe 2 minutes to look at your LinkedIn. They're just going to make sure that you have one and to make sure that it fits what they're looking for. So this is the stuff that we're going to kind of focus on today. Number one, you need to have a headshot. You want to make sure that you are dressed professionally for these headshots and make sure that you have a plain backdrop. If you are creative, if you are a graphic designer, if you are a visual arts person, and that's the type of position you're applying for, you want to make sure that your background is not the generic background. This is the one that every person gets. You can update these by just clicking on this little photograph, and then you can kind of add your photo. For your personal photo, you can just click on the photo, like where the picture would be, and then change your photo. Your headline is the next important part. So you're going to click on this little pencil over here in the right corner. Your name, who you want to see this. So mine is set to only LinkedIn members. So they have to be a LinkedIn member to see my profile. If you do everyone, then it's people that don't even have a LinkedIn. If it's somebody that's hiring, they're going to have a LinkedIn. You can do a name pronunciation. So if you have a difficult name to pronounce, or you notice that people are mispronouncing your name, you can actually give the pronunciation of your name, but you can only do it on the mobile app. You can't do it on the web version. And then what your pronouns are. Your headline, passionate career advisor offering career development services in higher ed. That's my headline. The headline is who you are, not what you are. So a lot of students do what they are. Student at Assumption University, student athlete at Assumption University, biology major at Assumption University. Okay, those are great, but that's what you are. That's temporary, right? Who are you as a person? Are you an aspiring marketing executive? Are you an aspiring journalist? What are you aspiring to be? That's your headline. It doesn't have to start with aspiring. That's fine too. Maybe you have a really interesting internship that you are really enjoying. Talk about some of the skills that you're gaining in that internship. You know, so maybe you are a marketing intern gaining knowledge in WordPress or Adobe Creative Suite. Those would be interesting things for an employer to know, especially if that's the field that you want to go into. So your headline is who you are, not what you are. You can include your current position. The current position, you just need to make sure that you check off the box that it doesn't turn into your headline, because your headline automatically updates with your current position if you don't check that off. Your current company industry, you can select who the company is if you'd like to. Your education, again, you don't have to include those things if you don't want to. The location that you're in, and it can be broad, it can be specific country, and then specific town, or it can be Greater Boston, Greater Worcester. Your contact information, this is a great opportunity for you to include a new website. So maybe you have a website that you have been creating. Maybe you have a Behance to showcase your graphic design stuff. Maybe you have a blog that you've been writing about. Include that up here. You know, you can always just click on it, include a URL, and then say what type of website it is. There is the option to put a birthday. I would avoid putting your birthday, just because if an employer is looking for somebody older or with more experience, they may look past you if they see that on your intro section. The 500 plus connections, that's just how many people I'm connected with. You want to try to get to 500, and that's going to take some time, and that's okay. But you want to try to get to 500, just because if you have 501, it'll say 500 plus. If you have 3,000, it'll say 500 plus. If you have 499, it will say 499. So try to get to 500 just so that you can, it'll say 500 plus, because that will showcase to employers that you're actually using LinkedIn actively. And connections start with friends, start with family, start with people in your classes. Everyone right now, especially the students in your classes, the students that you know, are going to be working on building their profiles, working on getting their connections up. So everyone's going to connect with everyone at that point. The only thing that might happen is some professors may choose, and this is a personal preference, to not connect with students until they've graduated. So just don't take that personally if that's the case. Then we're going to scroll down to, we'll click on add more, add a profile section. And if you go to recommended and you go to add featured is a great section to include if you want to include a link to, again, a website, or maybe you've just written one article, or maybe you've written a paper or a research project that you really want to showcase, or your honors thesis, perhaps. You can link them to your featured. The other thing that you can link to your featured is your media, which would be your resume. So you can actually have a section, and I actually believe it goes in between your heading section and your about section, and it says featured. Your resume would pop up right there. So I think that's a really good thing to do, because employers can then just click on it and your resume will pop up for them. The next section is your about section. So the about section is very helpful to illustrate the skills that you're strong in. And you want to focus those skills around the industry and the career that you're trying to obtain. You only really have 3 lines before it's saying see more right here. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning, a lot of employers will not click on see more. So click on the little pencil. It is 4 lines. And skilled in, what are you strong in? What are you trying to get? So think about your experiences, think about the industry that you want to go into. Skilled marketing student, interested in a field of digital marketing, working for a company that blah, 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 blah. You don't have to get super specific, but make sure that you're highlighting some skills that those types of companies are looking for. Communication skills, design skills, time management skills, all of that type of stuff. You have 3,000 words. So if you wanted to go out and talk about more stuff, you can, but make sure that the most important stuff, what you're looking for and what you're skilled in, is at the very top, so they don't have to click on see more. Okay. The rest of your profile is really just an online resume. So all you have to do is click on the plus, add a position, whatever your title is, the company name. And when you're typing in the company name, let's do Microsoft. Don't just type in Microsoft, because then you'll get this little box. You want the actual logo, so you have to scroll down and click on where the logo is. Okay. Location, your start date, and then the description. Copy and paste your description from your resume, and then you'll have bullets, you'll have all of that. You just copy and paste it right here. This is where you want to tell them, do not change my profile headline. I want it to stay the same. Otherwise, it will be your title. So this section's really easy to fill out if you've created a resume. Your education will populate itself. So you just want to click on the plus sign again, the school, the degree, your major, the years that you're here or you're expecting, and then any activities you've done, societies that you're in, if you're on an honor society, you know, if you've received any awards, those could go there. License, certification, so maybe you're first aid CPR certified. Your skills, these skills are really important for employers. If you wanted to update your skills, you can click on these 3 bullets and click on reorder. And then let's say the company I'm applying to really cares about student counseling as opposed to career counseling. I'm just going to drag this up to the top over here, sorry, up to the top. And now those 3 are going to be your top 3 that show. So let me go back and I'll show you. So now these 3 are the top 3 that show. Okay. So that's how you can edit those depending on the position that you're applying to. Your organizations that you want to be involved in, and then any of your interests. So this is an influencer I follow, companies I follow, groups I'm a part of, schools I follow. Okay. And those things you can just search for. So if I'm looking for undergraduate marketing group, undergraduate marketing will do. And then I just say I want groups. Here you go. Here's a bunch of undergraduate marketing groups. There is the job function here. And just a few things about jobs. I'm just going to stick with financial analysis because that's one I did earlier today for a student. If you are looking for a remote opportunity, make sure that your location just says the United States. If it says Boston, Massachusetts, and you click on remote, it's only going to show you companies that are in Boston that are remote. Okay. The other cool thing about this is, let's say, yep, I am really looking for a financial analyst in Boston, Mass. I want to set an alert so that I receive notifications about this job search. I just turn my alert on, go down to manage alerts. And then, okay, I want to edit this one. Financial analyst, I don't want daily. That's way too much for me. I want weekly alerts, and then I want to get email alerts and notifications. Don't just do notifications because that will only go to your LinkedIn. And then I also want to get notified of similar jobs or internships or whatever the case may be. You can also delete that search if you don't need that search anymore. So that's a great way to kind of check different job searches without having to actually go through the whole process over and over again. So if you're okay with remote, I would do financial analyst remote in the United States, and I would do financial analyst Boston, Massachusetts hybrid, you know, or in person. Do 2 separate alerts so that you kind of get both of those. And then the last thing really quickly is your network. If you want to create your network, and we're looking for alumni, you just search for the Assumption University page right up in the search bar, click on alumni. There are almost 23,000 alumni on LinkedIn. You can filter it by where they live, where they work, what they studied while they were here, or what they do, because honestly, a lot of people that studied psychology might be doing sales, you know, so maybe you know what you want to do, click on that and see what they actually did. Or let's say they studied psychology. We want to see 21, we'll see 2,200 alumni and see where they work. So Doug is a clinical director at Lowell House. Cool. That sounds like something I might be interested in. He's a licensed alcohol and drug counselor. Primary job focuses on substance abuse, gives you a little description about what he does. So if this is something that sounds really interesting to you or something that you might have an interest in doing, you can connect with Doug and just hit connect. Do not hit send from here. Add a note. Say, hi, Doug. I am an Assumption University student, really interested in rehabilitation counseling for addiction. I would love to connect with you and kind of learn more about how you got into the field that you're in and how you got into the role that you're in. Then you hit send. If he uses LinkedIn, he will connect with you because LinkedIn is a great way for alumni to give back to Assumption. They're going to give back to you because they want to give back to the community that did so much for them. So this is a great opportunity to kind of network with people that are in what you want to do. You know, this person's talent acquisition. She does human resources, but she was a psychology major. That might be interesting to you. The other thing, the last thing I'll show you is you always want to make sure that your URL is edited. Okay, so in your profile, go up to the right corner where it says edit public profile and URL. Click on that. It'll take you to a separate page. You want to edit your custom URL. Click on the little pencil. If you have a bunch of characters after your name, all of those characters have to go on your resume right now. Delete all of those extra characters. There should be maybe 10 extra characters after your name, and then hit save. If you have a common name, like let's say your name is John Smith, you're probably not just going to be able to say John Smith. You're probably going to have to say John Smith with a few numbers or something, John _ Smith, or try to change it up a little bit to find one that you can use, but it's going to be way better than all of those extra characters. Okay, I'm happy to meet with anyone if you want to go over your individual profile. This is our email. So if you have any questions or you want to schedule an appointment, feel free to do so. Have a great afternoon, everyone.